gods/goddesses, as with all other African religions, are creations of the past 6,000 years. They did not exist before then. They all came about as a consequence of the teachings of Yakub. Notice how many topics relate directly or indirectly to Yakub. The reason is because this is really Yakub's world, and just about everything in it results directly or indirectly from some part of his teachings. Briefly speaking, Yakub, after he made the light races, was compelled to teach them how to live. Civilization is always taught. It can never evolve naturally, as modern sociologists and the like would have us believe. It is not in the same realm of natural events as eating, sleeping, and procreating. In fact, without civilization, human beings naturally decline. Yakub was a great scientist knowledgeable in the entire circle of wisdom. Knowledge is called a circle because it starts at the starting point and goes around until it ends at the same point, but higher and larger. If you will, imagine a coil or a snake coiled on itself with its head resting on its tail. The head and tail are at the same point on the circle, but the head is at a higher elevation. So it is too that the universe will end at the same point it began, which is divine unity, but at a higher level of wisdom due to the experience gained. That in brief is the true definition of wisdom, and in our language it's called a serpent due to the metaphor we just mentioned. Yakub took the circle or serpent of wisdom and condensed it into 6 major parts of knowledge. He left out the 7th part, divine unity, because it cannot be taught, but only experienced. He further divided each of the 6 parts into 60 parts, each one corresponding to 1 year of an individual's life. In his original plan of making the light races, their normal lifespan was to be 60 years, and in fact this is the average worldwide. So the 60 parts of knowledge correspond to, or sum up, what each year of an individual's life brings or is supposed to bring in terms of experience. Life is supposed to be lived such that when a person reaches a certain age, he or she has gained an experience, the equivalent of that amount of knowledge corresponding to that section of the 60 parts. For example, when a boy or girl reaches puberty, he or she is supposed to have learned all that can be taught about sex and its 2 purposes. But this is no longer the case today. The same holds true for almost every avenue of civilized life, including such basic things as how to cook properly, or clean house, or grow fruits and vegetables. How many youths can do these things today, or if not actually do them, know them theoretically? So, the circle of knowledge was reduced by Yakub into 360 parts, 6 by 60. The 360 parts or degrees of knowledge was not taught to the light races, but only to black people. All this applies to the past 6,000-year period. Before then, the division of knowledge was as follows. Ancient knowledge was divided into 7 major parts, then the 7 were each divided into 7,000 parts, each one corresponding to 1 year of the 7,000-year lifespan. That made a total of 49,000 subjects of learning. Therefore, there were a total of 49,000 rituals. The vast majority of them are called minor rituals, and were performed differently in every town. Second are the major rituals, fewer in number and performed differently in every clan according to the chief's teaching. The third type are 7 in number and were performed exactly the same in every tribe. They are called the 7 great rituals or festivals of the black nation. Hence the ancient circle had 49,000 divisions as opposed to the modern 360 degrees. Yakub took 33 degrees of knowledge out of the 360 and established mystery or initiation temples to teach them to the leaders of the light races. In addition, he took 3 more degrees and added them to the 33 for a total of 36 and taught these 2 highly qualified individuals who passed the standards of selection he set up. These 36 degrees of knowledge became the science of all the highest secret societies of the light races. They had their foundation in the temple schools of ancient Egypt. Selected individuals of the light races were recruited from around the world to the mystery schools and taught. They then went back and started secret societies, a few of which still exist to this day. In Egypt, the 36 truths of Yakub became known as the 36 netters. The word netter means truth, and has been misinterpreted by Egyptologists to mean gods. The original 360 degrees of knowledge formulated by Yakub were taught an even deeper secret among the high priests of that time, all of whom were black. This knowledge was withheld from the netter mystery schools. The high priests migrated down into Africa when it became obvious that the decline of Egypt was inevitable. They took with them the original 360 degrees of knowledge and settled among 10 African tribes located across the entire African continent. These became the foundation of the 10 African schools of ritual initiation, as well as 2 others located outside Africa, which are practiced the same way to this day. At the same time, the knowledge of the 36 netters filtered down into the various African tribes when the priests began migrating out of Egypt into West, East, Central, and Southern Africa. It was from the science of these 36 netters that all the tribal religious systems of Africa originated. So in Africa today there are 2 types of schools of initiation, those of the original 360 degrees and those of the 36 degrees or netters. Add to that the 33-degree mystery schools that exist all over the world, especially among the light races, and that will give you an idea of the origin of the mystery or secret religions of the world. Now, each secret religion is different. Hence there is Vodun, or the religion of the goddess Mami Wata, Mummy Water, or the mermaid goddess. It arose primarily out of reverence for water as sustenance of all life. So too did every religion have its primary god or goddess, as well as many lesser deities and all their symbols. Now, here is the important thing. This present cycle is the cycle of decay. We can also use the word deterioration or corruption or any other word with a similar meaning. Everything decays in this age, especially knowledge. God has increased or waxed in wisdom since eternity, and has never known what it is to decrease or wane in wisdom. One of the purposes of this cycle is to gain this experience. It befell Yakub by preordination as the one to prepare the necessary conditions for evil, decay, ignorance, self-forgetfulness, to manifest. He went about it basically by first deteriorating the human body to a 60-year lifespan, and reducing the serpent of knowledge to 360 degrees, then further to 36 degrees and finally to 33 degrees. The 360 degrees are practiced by 12 modern black tribes today. The 49,000 degrees are held in abeyance in the custody of the 24 elders until the end of the age. The 33 degrees are practiced by Freemasons, especially the secret group called Rosicrucians on one side, and their opponents called Theosophists on the other side. The 3 plus 33 or 36 degrees are practiced by so-called masters of the light races, as well as others we will mention later. They are also practiced by the adherents of indigenous African and other religions such as Vodun. White people call this knowledge witchcraft or black magic in the hands of blacks, and white magic when practiced by them. The connotation is totally false, even though literally speaking the black and white terms are racially appropriate. When one considers the intent of the magic, then black magic is the true form of magic, whereas white magic is false. Both systems may use basically the same scientific principles, but the purposes to which each one is put determines whether it is true or false magic. Both systems rely on the 3 highest degrees of knowledge out of the 36 to formulate their highest principles. This 1 degree of knowledge is called psychic science. It's a science of the imagination. This is a natural science, as are all true sciences, that relies on the natural God-given power of the mind to be creative. The mind is naturally and spontaneously creative, and one can see this in dreams, where whole worlds are created out of nothing. Although dreams are to make accusation, lies, on you before the Lord, Yakub. It all started on earth with Cain the son of Adam who killed his own brother Abel, for which he received a mark, oath called the swastika today, which is the modem day cross and is the sign that the devil or Satan made when asked about his whereabouts in Job 1:7, and is repeated in Job 2:2, and the Yakub Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord Yakub, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. They wear the mark of the beast. That means they cause them to swear it is the symbol of death, the cross of the false Christians, and Paul follows Satan's gospel. They mark themselves each day. They wear it around their neck on rings, pins, or pendants in their churches. All over the place they are proud to wear the mark of Cain, to say we killed our own brother, or we even crucified the Son of God or brother Jesus, just to say we dominate God, is the reason why they came up with the crucifixion story, which is a symbol of which when they give themselves over to Satan, Shaitan, devil whom they call Christ and his Father. They call God, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost, all of one rank of fallen angels to become man. God the Son, as angels, God the Holy Ghost in their spiritual state, and they want to be God Most High, Ezekiel 28:6-9, Therefore thus saith the Lord of the God, Adonai Yahayu, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God Elohim. Behold, therefore, will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God Elohim? But thou shalt be a man, Adam, and no God, El, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. As the Father they try to make themselves leaders of everything, in movies, plays, in court, even in sports. They don't play, they stand on the sideline and make judgment. They are the teachers, principals, president, governor, fire chiefs, and the Supreme Court. They play God. That's the devil's dream, that you worship his image. The Caucasus spends billions upon billions of dollars on movies, what we call cinema advertisement, magazines, religious literature, posters, and billboards, all just to make you worship the white people in their image. They want you to be like them, look like them, walk like them, talk like them, dress like them, eat like them, drink like them, think like them, take drugs like them. And when you don't follow them or idolize their image, they call you a cult, and like an angry dog will attack you to kill you, or imprison you to stop you from teaching the truth about who they are originally. Revelation 13:15. That image is the Canaanite Zeus on a cross, dead, showing power of death over life. 1 Corinthians 15:54-56. I did a series of books about Zeus, who they call Jesus, and in many of my books people say, I was questioning the Most High, when I was really questioning their God. These books were not intended to blaspheme El Elyon, the Most High, but rather to stir questions in your mind about what the Caucasus has given you to believe in as God, and has actually given you weakness and frailness in order for you to have to doubt, and when you do they say have faith. So you must be on your point and square at all times. Be on guard, God, who should keep your eyes on any and everyone. The inference is very clear. If there is no physical devil, only a spirit, and only one at that, then who is responsible for all the things all over the world at one time that a devil, Zuin, or devils can do? A race of jinns, evil genies who use witchcraft, Revelation 8:23, and Satanism at the Pentagon as the seat or throne of evil. The Most High's words through his good Elohim is clear on this subject in 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devils, the pale albino race of lepers, Leviticus 13, as a roaring lion, walketh, Job 1-2, about seeking whom he may devour. Integration. In Numbers 12:10, Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron, was turned leprous white as snow. In 2 Kings 5:16, the curse of leprosy was put upon Gehazi, where he also turned leprous white as snow. So when God cursed a person, God is turning them white, unlike what the Mormons teach you in reverse. The Book of Mormon, 3 Nephi 2:15, and their curse was taken from them, and their skin became white like unto the Nephites. Satanists, Polite Christians, not only have access into the presence of the Lord, where he accuses the brethren night and day, meaning they don't sleep when they set to lie upon you, and access to you upon the earth, where they as a race Canaanites, Caucasus roam, drive around in their police cars, fly overhead in their helicopter, surf the web on their computers, watch you with their surveillance, tap phones to frame or set you up and lie as their father did in John 8:44, to deceive everyone. Genesis chapter 3, on the earth with their lust and luster mentioned in Revelation chapter 17, with their harlots changing everyone into beasts like them with their pornography, porno, sex, lust, drunkenness, drugs, violence and nudity. It's all a trick. They roam about seeking souls, acting so bad and tough when they come in herds or packs, troops like lions. They all jump on one man, all 300 of them will or more. If it's a country, they want to take it over. Now, they want outer space. So he is showing his presence in outer space in his movies. Put on your whole armor of the Most High. Know that armor is from Latin root amor and means love. Put on all your love, amor or armor of Ina Anunnaki, gods, Elohim, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle, like Jacob, Genesis 32:24-25, not against sarks, carnal, flesh, not just the physical devil, but his Satanism, witchcraft, and physics. Humbaba, Tarnush, Shaker helps them from the realm of darkness. Shaker was not entitled also to the realm of light created. So he is still in darkness, the deep blue sea, the abyss helping them. Their symbol is the five-pointed star and the cross. In this symbol you see Samael mentioned in Leviticus 16:8, Leviticus 18:26, and 1 Kings 11:1-11. These are the devils and their goat worship. The five-pointed star is also a symbol of Asherah and ties in with the mark on the forehead. They love these symbols. They use it on their flags, uniforms, military, police, and good marks in school are marked by stars. And when you are famous on the big screen, you become a movie star. It's all to worship their images. The star that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, for we wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness, secret society who meet in the dark. The six-pointed star is the Star of David, also called the Magen Dawid, Shield of David. The seal of Solomon is the five-pointed, the same star used in satanic worship, because Solomon was of a mixed seed from the devils, Zuin, race of Hittites, so some used of the five-pointed star and crescent on the Baphomet symbol, for instance, represents Bathsheba and David. David is the bottom crescent when he is pointing down, which is the black crescent, and Bathsheba when he is pointing up represents the white crescent. The torch on the top represents Lucifer and the Luciferian conspiracy. The Caucasus are not of An, El Elyon, the Most High's light, the true light which lighteth every man that comes into the world, John 1:4-8, and is supported by James 1:17-18. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father, Anu, of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. They can't see in the sunlight, so Canaan retreated into the dark caves. This is why they say England, Europe was in the dark ages. No true light came until the Moors, blacks in Yorkshire, England, who tried to civilize them, teaching them 3 degrees. 1. How to crawl, entered apprentice. 2. How to stand, fellow craft. And 3. How to walk, master mason. They then can be called Mr. and Mrs. Now these Caucasus, Canaanites must stay in line, plumb, on the square, and know who the true and living God is to them, the original blackman, maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization and gods, Elohim, Ina Anunnaki, Netarot of the universe. They then can come among us to live, not mix in and breed with us. They are of the darkness of this world, and as Ephesians 6:12 says, against of spiritual wickedness in high places, governments. Satan is referred to as the prince of the power of the air in Revelation 9:1-21, and Revelation 9:11, the prince of the power of the air, such as planes during warfare. So we know why the vortex opened. It should not startle us to hear of all of the strange events associated with outer space. Halel, Semyaza, Lucifer still wants to get back in the heavens, Orion.